Hi, my name is Patrice Cranford, and I am enrolled in the Educational Philosophy and Theories of Learning course. And super excited to be here today to talk about one of the philosophers that I chose. And the philosopher that I chose and going to speak about today is Aristotle. And just to give a brief background, 10 years ago, my son is 10, we were looking to name him, and I was in class one day, and I said, I was taking attendance, and one of the students, and I looked and I said, "Your name is Aristotle?" I said, "What does that mean?" Because it just sounds so cool. And I looked it up, and I can remember when I Googled it, it said superior thinker. And I said, that's exactly what I want to name my son. So fast forward, we named him. His name is Jaira Aristotle Cranford. And he is an amazing little guy. He loves math, science. So names are important. So that's why I told that story. Anyway, but to get into it, so Aristotle was born in 384 BC, and he died in 321 BC. He was born in a northern Greek kingdom of Macedonia. At the age of 17, Aristotle journeyed to Athens, where he studied for 20 years with Plato. Plato was another philosopher that we have learned about and some of the ideas and concepts he invented. Aristotle being under Plato, he grabbed as much information from him as he could, and even reinvented some things that he learned from Plato. Aristotle reinterpreted and revised some of Plato's philosophies. After coming from under Plato's teaching and tutelage, Aristotle opened up his own school. I think it was called Lyceum or Lyceum. I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but he opened up his own school because he wanted to broaden what he had learned. Aristotle was a developer of realism, and realism is basically, he wanted to come and find the concept and the philosophy of what was real. And studying Aristotle, it was saying that, as I mentioned earlier about the definition of his name, superior thinker, Aristotle wasn't just stuck on one concept and one idea and one subject matter. He was known to have studied many subject areas: math, science, education, religion, music, anything. I can only imagine, anything that he wanted to know, he took the time to study, and he just didn't study the shallow part of it. He really, went into depth of what he wanted to know, and he was broadened into so many aspects and so many areas of knowledge. And I remember doing the research. It was saying that his comprehension and his comprehension was so developed that they didn't even think that he was human. Because he was so advanced and so more mature when it comes to theories and philosophies, that he was just mind-blowing. And so some of the interesting things that I found out about Aristotle is he was the founder of formal logic, and he was the founder of fields like zoology and physics. Zoology is the study of zoo animals and different things like that. In physics, there's so many components that go along with those fields that they all intertwine with each other: science, math, engineering. So it's very interesting how broad he was, and how he expanded his knowledge, and identifying. One of his philosophies was he wanted to identify questions, draw conclusions, bring about answers to the questions that he had and the questions I'm sure that other people had. As I mentioned earlier, he was a developer of realism. He wanted to find out what was real form. I was reading something about the matter and form hypothesis. He wanted to, he knew that there was matter there from our, he was saying from our senses, and then the matter turns into form, something that's actually, gives us form, gives us body. Something else. Yeah, he was just, one of the things it says, Aristotle replaced Plato's belief that reality consists of pure ideas. And it wasn't, for Aristotle, I feel like it wasn't something that it was made up. It was something that, hey, this is real, this is true, and we can build on this. And it, it doesn't have to be something that's way out there. It's just something that's far-fetched. So that's very cool. One of the interesting facts that I found out, that he was a tutor. He tutored Alexander the Great. And we know Alexander the Great was also another great philosopher, along with Plato and so many others. And he was a student of Plato's Academy. I mentioned that. And he was known to be one of the greatest thinkers of all time. So I really enjoyed, learning about the different interesting facts about Aristotle, and just to know that back then, of course, he didn't have Google and YouTube and everything like that, but how he did. So I just wanted to close with this. I found one of Aristotle's quotes that I put in my brochure, and it says, "Anybody can become angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time for the right purpose and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and that is not easy." And that was just kind of mind-blowing in itself, because the Bible talks about being angry, be ye angry, but sin not. And it's easy sometimes, just thinking about it, it's easy to get angry, but you never know the true reason. You may not know, in some situations, the true reason to why you're angry. You may not be angry at the right person. You may not understand what happened, and what occurred for that anger to arise. And he was just saying that it is not within everybody's power. It's not easy to sometimes always get an understanding. So just from the quote alone, really lets me know, and really lets us know that he wasn't just thinking off the top. He really took the time to dig deep and to dig further. So like I said, I enjoyed the assignment. Very great philosopher. Love the theory, and just super excited to learn more. And that's my conclusion. I hope you all have a great day. Be blessed.